Okay, Phoebe's friends, we now have a new speaker system. We have our microphones working here. We have everything set up currently so that it could be used. And so this is your YouTube video, how to connect all this stuff and what happens when things go wrong. So first of all, one of the things that I'm going to have you do, I'm going to stop talking in the microphone. So one of the things you're going to do is you're going to want to set things up first off, starting with the power for this box here for your microphones. You don't have to worry about plugging them in because they're already plugged. So what you want to do is have them plugged in to that power bar over there, and the power bar is going to be plugged into a extension cord, because I'm assuming you're going to want to have this elsewhere. You want to have some latitude to move around. And if I was really doing this, what I'd want to do is tie this in a bit of a knot around there, or tape it there just in case. Sometimes you'll have kids, that might walk past it and then pull it out. The other thing that we have here, and you should always keep in mind, is having this gaffer tape. And tomorrow, maybe I'll do a secondary video. You want to be able to tape down these cables because kids can trip on them, and especially if you're doing a concert, the last thing you want to do is a kid to trip over a cable and then it pulls out the cable from your speaker or it falls over. That's definitely a cringe-worthy moment. Okay, so still going from the mics here, and typically what you want to do is you'll start with them off, right? I always start from least power to most power. So you can have everything turned off, and actually I'm going to go do that right now. I'm going to make sure everything is off, starting with the mics and ending with the speakers. And then we're going to do it together, okay? So now there's no power anywhere. So you don't need to worry about loud noises coming out of these suckers, because these are very loud, very good speakers. So first thing we do, the other thing I want to tell you about these mics, they're old, like me. And so be careful about over twisting these suckers. Kids can sometimes be a bit overzealous and they'll twist, because that's how you have to get to the battery. They have D batteries. I suggest having new D batteries for each concert. It's pretty obvious how it works. You've got your on and off switch there, so it's currently turned to off. So we'll have that. So now I'm going to turn them on, and we have this, even though these mics are still off. Okay, so that goes to your power board, your power bar. You've got that. Now this goes to your mics. Now you want to get the sound from each microphone to the speakers. So you're going to have these, what's called an XLR cable. So it goes into the back there, and it looks like this. And it's going to go into there, and that is going to go into, so it comes along here, goes into this channel, channel 1. Everything along here relates to the sound that's coming out of there. So what I like to do is always make sure that everything's kind of at 12 o'clock or less, right? Because you don't want to have that nasty sound when you first start up. So this obviously is channel 2. So if you follow the cable, it's going to go to here, which goes to the back of that cordless mic. So this way we have, say, your administrator and a student mic available for their solos. Okay, so now that's in, and you know that your volume is all at 12 o'clock, which is what we want. This is your main master volume, so you always want to make sure that like kids haven't been playing around with it and it's up there, because when you turn it on, that's going to be really loud in your ears and will throw you. Now, back here, you've got your power. Okay, really small power, really good unit here, super easy. This is obviously your power box, so when you're putting things away, just put it in here, keep it neat and tidy. The other thing I'd say about this unit here, put it in a bag, like I have that Long and McQuaid bag over there, so that it keeps the dust off. The last thing you want to do is have that in the tech closet over there, gathering dust over Christmas time, because the dust gets down into these holes and then you get crackly bits and then you have to replace this unit. Okay, power goes into the power bar, kind of self-explanatory. So now we've got everything coming here. Now what you want to do is you want to think, that's your channels. These are your main output. So sorry if you're getting dizzy. Your main out. So you've got your left and your right. So left, obviously, goes to my left speaker, which is over there. Now this left, if I unplug it, which I can unplug because there's no power to it right now, looks like this. It's a 1/4 inch, so it's going to go into there. Okay, and if we follow that line, it goes all the way up to here, into the mic in. All right, so that 1/4 inch that I showed you before goes into this mic in. So it doesn't have the same, sorry, it's gonna look weird for a minute. I have to plug it in. Okay, so now it's in there. The other thing I really want to tell you about, because when I first turned this on, I had a little panic attack because one of the speakers didn't work. That's because the last person who used this had this button pushed in so that it's actually sticking out a little bit on the mixer ensemble. You want that in, where it's nice and flush. If it's not flush, you're not gonna get sound, you're gonna have a panic attack, you're gonna wonder. Here's the other thing. Remember when we were talking about 12 o'clock? I wouldn't put these speakers at 12 o'clock. They're powerful. I'd put them more at like 9 o'clock to try it out first. Okay, so that's the main out. So if you think about it, you've got the proximity to the microphone going into there, going into your soundboard, you've got your sound input coming here, and then it's boosted once again from here. So you don't want to be amplifying your noise the way that I did the first time I went through here. Again, same thing on your other speaker. These speakers are powered, so that means you don't need an amplifier. You'll also notice there's a really convenient on-off switch here, pretty obvious. So here we go, so you get your power, and of course your power, I've got one going into the wall here, not super pretty, but I didn't really want to blow out, I don't think I would, and probably tomorrow during the FET, I'm gonna try everything in here into a power bar, but you might wanna have 2 power bars just in case if you have a really loud sound system and you're playing a lot of loud music and a lot of energy into that power bar, depending on the age of the power bar. So now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on the sound. Now, I start with this, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start, rather than start with the speaker, I'm gonna start here. So I'm gonna pretend that those were off, I turn those on, my mics are still off, that's fine. I'm gonna go over to the soundboard, because that's where the sound delivers next, and I'm gonna turn it on. You're gonna see this, that lit up just when I was turning it on. Now here's the thing, you wanna test that you're getting sound into that soundboard, so I can turn on my microphone right now without making loud noises come out of here. This is how I do it, so I troubleshoot to see what's wrong with it. So I should see lights, and you see the lights lighting up there? That's good. So now we know, and here's the other thing, you can tell which channel I'm coming out of. So it's obviously coming from that guy, which goes into channel, I think that was channel 2, I'm not sure. Test, 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 and then what I'm gonna do now is, now that I know that I've got sound going into the board, now I'm going to turn on the speakers. Okay, I got one on, and if I don't have feedback, you know that, and everybody knows what that feedback sounds like, it is the devil, then I can feel free to turn on my other speaker. Okay, so there should be a green light on there, we're all good. Okay, so far so good, no bad squelching sounds. Now here's the trick. I'm in front of the speakers. I've purposefully turned them away from where the microphone is because that's feedback. That's how you get feedback. So my microphone is still, test, 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 1, 2. Okay, actually I had my microphone on, so I was playing a little bit of microphone roulette there. Test, test, so good. So I've got good sound. It's a little echoey and boomy because I'm inside the gym. But you can then start playing around with the sound, with the volume, and I would suggest, if you want it louder, use that system first before you start fiddling with the stuff on the back. But you should always check the back before you get started to just make sure that kids haven't been playing around with it, and most importantly, again for the panic attack, that somebody has not pushed that button right there, because if they do, actually I'll do it right now. Test, test, test. So now, it doesn't really sound that good for you, but that speaker that I just pushed is no longer working. So test, test, now it's coming out of this one. So so if you set everything up, you're like one of the speakers or none of the speakers are working, and yet the green light is on, and I'm getting sound through here, and I've put the cables in properly, that's your troubleshooting right there. Okay, lastly, you're a music teacher. You have a backup track with your computer. So let me just wake this up. So you've got your 1/8 inch jack here. It goes in, snakes through to a 1/4 inch into channel 3/4. Goes into your mono. That's your mono mix right there, your left. Don't put it into the right, put it into the left because it's mono going to there. That should be fine for you. If you have problems with mono, you shouldn't. Call me or text me or whatever, and I can also get you a stereo mix out of here where we'll use 2 channels, but I don't think we're gonna get that fancy at FVS just yet. You're checking your levels, should be fine. Check your levels on your YouTube video. I happen to have happy because you're gonna be happy you have a new system. And here we go. Now, if you wanna have volumes on full on the YouTube, and if you want it to be louder, you can turn it up on your monitor mix. Okay, there we go. Now, lastly, and feel free to skip all this stuff, but here's the other thing that I wasn't thinking about doing until just now. When you're packing things up, I would suggest, and when I pack things up, I'm not going to do that. I don't know who did that. I'm not outing any of you, FVS, lovely people, but this is the way to go. You want to have it nice loops there because the cables, if they get crimped, that can distort some of the sound. So you have that. Plus, I told you where to put that white box there is for your power for your mixer. That goes in there, nice, neat, and tidy. This is your cable here. I'll put this away and put it in the box that I purchased it in. I already told you that should go in the bag, the Long and McQuaid bag, so it doesn't collect dust. Have all of your cables. I wouldn't do as I saw it here right now where everything's kind of mashed up. I know it's tempting to do that, but you might want to buy another couple bins just so that, because I don't want to see that thing on top of all these cables because it can end up sort of crimping things. These mics are probably, gosh, I used them when I was in the boy band, so you know, they are old like me, so you want to be gentle with them. They're durable, but I don't know if they're kid durable, so just be careful with them. And never, 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 I'm going to turn off the mic to make sure. Never when you're talking or if you have kids, don't ever have your microphone going this way. That is the feedback loop, right? This is the microphone picking up the sound of that, and that's where you get that woo, which is hell for any musician or any human. Okay, I think that's it. That is your YouTube video how-to. Laurel and others, if I was unclear, I can make you another one another day. And thank you for purchasing this really good equipment. The last thing I'd say is that these speaker stands go much taller, and if anything goes wrong with them, Long and McQuaid's has all of the parts, you know, and typically the thing that will break first will be the speaker stands. People tend to be a bit rough with them. These do come in a bag. I have a special bag that I'm going to put them in so they won't be damaged in the closet. And enjoy your new equipment. This should be, if you treat it really well, this should live for as long as our kids go from K through to 12 at FVS. Okay, take care everyone.